Sorry, I'm going to go ahead on my own. I need to stop by the convenience store over there.
Hey!
You two can take your time if you want to catch up with me later. I'm going to be taking a while myself.
Late at night, our exam preparations ended around the time when it seemed natural to stop disturbing Setsuna's family. After saying goodbye to Setsuna's brother and parents, we put our shoes on and came out of the house, with Toma leaving me behind and going off on her own.
Wait! My mom wanted you to take home some mandarins! Huh? Where's Kazusa?
It takes me a few seconds to realize Toma's intentions.
Haruki-kun?
Toma left first, saying that she needed to go to the convenience store. I'll give these to her.
Okay. They are divided into 2 equal
Setsuna.
Oh.
Immediately, as I receive the 2 paper bags, I pull Setsuna towards myself. It seems like she's realized Toma's intentions as well. She's really going out of her way to be considerate. If she's gone that far for us, it would be rude not only to Setsuna, but to Toma as well if I didn't do anything. Setsuna buries her face into my chest and rubs it as if to smell me, or even try to leave her own scent on me. The gentle fragrance from her hair reaches my nose, and once again brings out my carnal desires. Setsuna, my voice must have sounded desperate, as Setsuna looks up at me with mischievous eyes that suggest she's seen right through me. And of course, she did that with the aim of closing her eyes soon after. Setsuna's lips move upon mine, molding themselves in all sorts of different ways as they do. They purse and forcefully press against my lips before spreading and enveloping them in an attempt to catch them from both sides. Our kisses last longer and longer each time we do it. At this point, our 3-second rule is nothing. As our lips part, I feel her breath brushing against my cheeks, and her beautiful face comes into view. At this moment, I realize that we're a couple that people wouldn't deem acceptable. Good night.
Yep. Good night.
Not a single word that people would use to describe me actually comes across as being a good match for Setsuna, right? I mean, no. It's not like I'm being pessimistic. Since I've come this far, I have no other choice. I'll do all I can to become a man truly worthy of Setsuna, because I'm in love with Setsuna after all. I wouldn't trade that kiss with her for anything.
Hey!
I've gotten used to always doing my best. In any case. And I have a knack for producing results. It's just that this time, it's a completely different situation than what I'm used to.
Encore!
Sure, with our foreheads still touching, at a distance where if either of us spoke even a little, our lips could touch again. We exchanged words, and we exchange a kiss. Setsuna.
Again.
Okay, and our kisses become more and more numerous as we go. At this point, 3 times is nothing.
Hey, Mom! I just saw something amazing!
Oh, really? Well, why don't you go ahead and take a bath now?
No, this is a huge deal! You know how I can see the front door through my room windows? So, listen, Sis was...
Alright, stop right there. Your father's here too.
Welcome. 5 minutes later, I arrive at the convenience store and find that Toma is nowhere to be found. Even though I ran all the way to the train station, I couldn't catch up to her. And just like that, the finals went by in a flash.
And what do you mean, just like that?
So Well, just like that, the turbulent final exam week passed by in what seemed like a flash. And today's last exam, English, ended on a high note. You must have put in a ton of effort again, Haruki. Were you aiming to top every subject with flying colors or something this time? I wouldn't do something so inefficient. My goal is to achieve the grade's average scores on every subject, you know?
Oh, looks like he's already asleep. I'm amazed at how natural his sleep talking sounds.
I had a lot going on, okay? After all, our graduation is on the line. And I'm perfectly awake, by the way. Everything but my mind is, at least. Since my subjects today were the same as hers, I figured I'd be able to get some studying in for myself as well. That was the plan, anyway. Your mother lives in Europe, doesn't she? How can her daughter be this clueless when it comes to English?
I regret to inform you that my mother lives in France. It's a country where even so much as speaking English is legally prohibited.
Kazusa, you're going too far there.
But thanks to the lowbrow arguments like that one, I ended up wasting all of my energy. Even today, less than 30 minutes into the exam, I was seriously considering sneakily switching answer sheets with the person next to me. A remedial of a remedial for today's exam wouldn't surprise me. Even though she's amazing at any foreign phrase related to the piano, I guess she wouldn't be able to speak anything other than German? So, what's taking Setsuna-chan and the others so long? It's almost 1 o'clock already. They just went to get some application forms for student discounts. If she carelessly spreads the news and blurts out, "I'm going on a trip with someone," I'll make sure to put some flowers on your desk at the very least. Setsuna seems to be cooking up a pretty detailed plan for the winter break trip. Since I'll be going as well, I wonder how she plans to convince her parents, or rather her father, to give us permission to go.
Hey, Haruki, why did you confess to Setsuna?
Wait, Io! My relationship with Setsuna has, of course, been already exposed to Takia and Io, and since Setsuna doesn't seem to hide things like this, it's possible that the majority of the school might know about it as well.
I mean, couldn't you have waited until a little later? Like, after graduation?
Io.
Setsuna's feelings were obvious, and no matter when you confessed, her answer would have been the same. So, why did you have to hurry so much?
Wait. What? I assumed she would tell me something like, "You're not a good match for her," or "You've ruined everyone's dreams," or even, "So have you done it yet?" If she'd asked that last one, I might have flipped out on the spot. What are you talking about, Io? If the answer would have been an okay no matter when, why would there be any reason to wait? However, I was so completely taken aback by Io's question that I couldn't even understand what exactly she meant at first.
Well, I mean, you've only known each other for about a month? Aren't you rushing it a bit too much?
Sure, it can't be helped that I'm the one who's being badmouthed in the relationship. That aside, though, I can tell from her tone of voice that Io's holding back from saying something, and that's what's really bothering me. So what? If it were me, I would have done it on the first Nah, never mind that. Even Takia finds it harder to support me than usual, just because of who we're going up against.
Was Setsuna really okay with it being right now? Don't you think she might have wanted a bit more time?
Hey, Io. However, Io definitely has the wrong impressions about one thing. That's right. We discovered one another's feelings and, well, ended up like this. I understand you might be worried because she's dating someone like me. I also understand if it makes you uncomfortable or if you think it makes no sense. But even so, neither of us has had a doubt in our mind. But we both started this relationship while firmly believing that both the time and the partner were perfect. Haruki. Now look, he fell silent all of a sudden. This is a fine example of you being terrible at reading the mood, Io. Which one was it really? We wanted more time. In any case, it's weird for me to be the one mediating while you two are arguing, isn't it? Pull yourselves together already. There they are! Sorry to keep you waiting, guys!
Setsuna?
And Toma. So sleepy.
What's the matter? You've all got such grim faces. Were the exams really that brutal?
From that moment, and for some reason, I couldn't bear to face either Setsuna or Toma.
Oh, I just want to cry. What am I going to do if my recommendations are withdrawn?
Even as Io quickly changed the topic.
Wanna go to karaoke and blow off some steam then? We're finally free from the exams after all.
Even as Setsuna brought up the forbidden word. Oh, that sounds great! We'll get to hear Setsuna-chan's unedited performance. Even as Takia jumped on Setsuna's idea, completely oblivious.
Kitahara, was it my fault?
Even as Toma kept being worried about me. No, it has nothing to do with you, Toma.
I see.
It took me until a few hours later to finally snap out of that grim mood I was stuck in, dragging everyone down. You know, you really need to stop jumping to conclusions.
About what?
Those two. From what I can tell, it was Setsuna-chan who confessed. I'm almost certain about it.
How can you be so sure?
Because Haruki is. No, never mind.
Don't make unfounded assumptions. Setsuna had no reason to confess this early after all.
How can you be so sure?
Because Setsuna, she's... No, never mind.
An hour later, Takia witnessed Setsuna's true self. Furthermore, other than Setsuna and Takia, none of the three of us even made an attempt to take a turn at singing.
She's really going at it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's jump in together on 3, Haruki-kun.
1, 2...
I was supposed to be the one doing the counting.
Congratulations on your graduation!
Make sure to clean this up later.
With a piece of confetti still stuck on her head, Toma was so overwhelmed that she couldn't express her emotions properly.
Isn't it great, Kazusa? Having your graduation settled before the winter break?
Her plans for the future are yet to be determined, though.
I only passed the remedials.
But your grades are all fine now, right? From now on, you just have to meet attendance and your graduation is as good as decided.
I don't think it's in the school's interest to keep someone like you around for another year, either.
Kitahara, how about we settle this outside?
It's the closing ceremony of the second term. For third-year students who have potentially life-changing events like university entrance exams and job applications coming up, today is basically the final day when one's graduation is decided. Today, on this very diverging point of one's life, Toma Kazusa finally managed to earn a passing grade in all of her subjects. And while I'm at it, Setsuna and I have already accomplished that without breaking a sweat a week ago. Now that it's over, those 9 remedial exams over 5 subjects are just pleasant memories we can reminisce about. I feel sleepy again today.
Hey, since our winter break has just officially started without any issues, why don't we all go to karaoke and...
No way. Setsuna already had her fun hogging the mic and enjoying herself a while ago. Neither of us could deal with her when it comes to karaoke.
I can finally play the piano as much as I want. I think I'll go back to playing over 10 hours a day after all this time.
As always, even during our conversations, Toma's fingers hadn't stopped moving for a second.
You've started playing the piano again?
If there's one good thing about me, it would have to be this.
You're right about that.
Come over here for a second and turn around. I'll give you a nice, hard kick.
Her fingers are moving as lightly as ever, but even the tone of her voice seems to match the mood of her fingers today. Her words and expressions seem to have brightened up just a little bit as well.
I'm thinking about entering a competition for the first time in 2 years.
I stand corrected. Forget the just a little bit part.
Really? That's wonderful, Kazusa!
I'd like to say that everyone can enter, but that's obviously not the case. At the very least, I can get a recommendation though.
Even so, that's amazing! We'll make sure to go cheer you on, right, Haruki-kun? Right, Haruki-kun?
Yeah! Seeing this change in her makes me very happy too. When I first met her in spring, I saw an extremely irritable classmate. And on that day, I swore that I would eventually make her change. And I'm seeing the change in her that I once imagined right now. That's amazing, Toma. We'll make sure to go watch.
Don't you dare fall asleep in the concert hall. I'll be keeping my eyes on you.
It's just that I feel the slightest sense of defeat after seeing how optimistic she seems to be right now.
Hey, hold on! If you won this competition, would you be able to get a recommendation to a music university?
Winning it right now is pretty much impossible. Besides, you can't get a recommendation for something like that anyhow.
No, you just need Toma Yuko's influence, see?
That's right! If Kazusa's mom were to get involved, any music university would accept her, right?
And even if that doesn't work, if we use the Toma's family financials assets...
You guys really need to stop making a joke of my family situation. I can't even get angry at you when you're so brazenly talking behind my back.
Can you really say it's behind your back when we're doing it right in front of you? We're just being a little envious here.
That's rich, coming from the sheltered son of an affluent family from Okayama.
Huh? What do you mean? I never heard anything about that! Haruki-kun, You're leaving me out again!
Huh? Wait, no, that's Toma!
Isn't this just a textbook example of poetic justice? Well, I did have to make use of my mother's influence a bit, but this competition is really just a gauge of my skill.
Is that so?
In both the instant it took for Setsuna to start pouting, and during the several minutes it took to calm her down, Toma, still not stopping her fingers, just stared and laughed at us. She laughed.
I've been playing on my own without an instructor for the past 2 years. The competition won't be easy enough for me to win with that kind of effort.
Even so, this is you we're talking about, Kazusa?
I know my own skill the best. Considering the level I'm at now, it would be a miracle if I made it to the finals. Well, that said, I still wouldn't be losing to those guys in the music class. In any case, for now, I want to remember.
Your skill at your peak?
No, in the past, when I was sure I really loved the piano despite who I was.
In the past?
Who knows? It feels like I forgot all about it while rebelling against my mother.
Even while uttering such self-deprecating words.
How I felt like in the past when I stood in front of the piano.
By now, Toma can no doubt look back to her past in a positive light.
Or how I was able to spend more than 10 hours in front of the piano without complaining, even once.
Her bitter smile is not bitter at all. This isn't like the Toma I know.
Don't I sound stupid?
Not at all. I think this is a great development, meaning that the side of herself that Toma had been showing me up until now was the fake one. After all, Toma, you've been calling her Mum for a while now. Meaning that the Toma who referred to her mother as that person was never showing me her true self.
Now that you mention it, you're right.
Which means that the real Toma is someone who's this honest. Someone who smiles so easily.
Even though I hated her so much, somehow, I guess it's all working out.
This is the Toma I'd never known about. That's a good start. There's nothing wrong with getting along with your parents.
I don't want to hear that from you, Kidahara. You haven't even met your mother face to face more than 3 times a week this whole year.
Hey, I told you that.
Wait, what's this all about? Hated her so much and haven't met your mother face to face?
I swear, you're just so... As Setsuna threatens to stiffen up again, I pull her towards me and start messing with her sweet-scented hair. Setsuna protests and pretends that she doesn't like it, in response, of course. But she doesn't try to push my hands away. Hey, Toma, before Setsuna gets all pouty again, would you mind if I told her about all that? Before she can react, I embrace Setsuna's shoulders and gently stroke her hair.
I guess there's no other way. Setsuna will cry if you don't, for sure.
Toma accepts my actions with a bitter smile. I think she'll cry even if I do tell her. Setsuna gets along really well with her mom after all. I think she'll be really shocked if she hears about our family situations, you know?
Stop making fun of me, you two! You're making me sound like an overbearing girl who easily misunderstands everything!
Well, part of that might not be too far from the truth.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree.
Everything is alright. All 3 of us are heading in a good direction. Among the 3 of us, Toma is now able to laugh again. She has become someone who can smile much more brightly. Among the 3 of us, Setsuna and I have naturally deepened our bond. So, everything is alright. There's nothing to worry about. As long as I can get over it, we'll be able to keep going just like this, with everyone laughing together.
Good morning, Haruki-kun!
Hey, good morning.
You're early as usual. It's still 15 minutes till the meeting time.
Well, I'm the type of person who can't settle down unless I'm at the meeting place 30 minutes before schedule.
I could say that it's just like you, Haruki-kun, but, well, there are times when I feel like I want to get all nervous and excited waiting for you to show up, Haruki-kun.
Oh,
Well, it's just a silly complaint from a girl, so feel free to let it slide.
sorry, I couldn't think of a clever comeback. To begin with, I was just using my usual demeanor as a pretext for the unsightly truth, being the fact that I couldn't get a wink of sleep last night.
Like I said, just let it slide. If you take it that seriously, I might really get my hopes up.
Sorry again and again. It's December 24th. On this very day, the plan that Setsuna imposed on us all finally begins to unfold. In other words, our hot springs trip. It's been a month since we started dating, and we'll be spending our Christmas at the hot springs. Not at a restaurant, not at a cafe, not alone together in a room, but at the hot springs. And we're staying overnight. Not to mention the fact that it'll be a guy and two girls. What in the world was everyone doing when they let her get away with this plan that sounds absolutely insane to me? What were they thinking? Did nobody consider trying to stop her? Like me, for example. Hey, Setsuna,
What is it?
I just need to make sure of this again. Did your father really approve of this? I'm coming with you after all. Was it okay for me not to go and explain this at your place again this time? You know, like the time we stayed over at Toma's? Why aren't you saying anything?
Kazusa sure is late, huh?
Why are you changing the subject? No, in fact, she's blatantly trying to avoid eye contact with me. I suppose I can safely say that the suspicion I've been harboring for a while now is slowly turning into certainty. Alright, I'm going to ask again, Setsuna. Don't tell me.
It's Kazusa.
Don't try to trick me like that. Setsuna told a lie, of all things, during the emergency family meeting this time.
I'm telling you, it really is Kazusa.
No one's come out of the station, and I know that the next train doesn't arrive for another 5 minutes. On top of that, she even went as far as to try to hide it from me.
No, that's not what I mean. Look behind you.
That's where the roundabout is.
Sorry for the wait.
In an attempt to stop Setsuna's excuses, I turn around expecting to see no one.
Right, let's load up your luggage and get going. How do I open the trunk again?
Wait a minute. What is this? And my whole world was flipped upside down in an instant.
Wow! Amazing! This is a foreign-made car, isn't it?
To be more specific, one with a blue and white circular emblem, and a logo with 3 letters. It's a Beamer! Put simply, this is an automobile. A high-class import vehicle at that. It must have cost several million yen to put it into perspective. Given the direction the car's facing, and the fact that she's sticking her head out from the driver's side window in the front left, It looks like that car drove through and roundabout in the opposite direction, too. Who's going to drive this thing?
I'll be driving, of course. Who do you think drove it all the way here?
You have a license?
I got it during summer break. You know that I didn't have anything to do back then.
Just to make sure. Have you driven at all after getting your license?
Of course not. You two were pushing me around for nearly the entire second term. So I've had no time to be driving.
Kazusa, is it just me, or is this spot on the front right dented a bit?
The argument we were having just a moment ago now seems cute. Almost too cute compared to this situation.
Come on, let's hurry up and go. Hey, Kitahara, can you open the trunk?
Alright then, let's go, Toma. Back to your garage.
You don't have to worry so much. It's fine if it gets damaged.
And will you be taking responsibility if people are damaged?
I'm telling you, it'll be fine. I'll drive safely.
It takes someone who already knows how to drive to be able to drive safely simply by paying attention.
Come on, Haruki-kun! Hurry up and get in! Let's leave Tokyo before the traffic gets busy!
Setsuna! Before I knew it, Setsuna had already started poking her head out through the window of the front passenger seat. I was afraid this would happen. A majority of 2 votes in favor and 1 against. Hey, Setsuna, could you get out? Let's take the train after all, yeah?
The car's more convenient. We don't have to carry our luggage, and we can keep chatting all the way.
I was too focused on the argument itself and overlooked the crucial developments behind the scenes. Swaying the public vote in opposition should have been my priority. The moment Toma successfully got Setsuna inside the car, my defeat was probably as good as decided. But I have a responsibility to your parents to take care of you, Setsuna. If we get into an accident and you get hurt...
Certainly, if Setsuna becomes damaged goods, it will be your responsibility, Kitahara.
Oh, shut up! Give me a break here. You two don't even realize the gravity of the situation.
It's okay. We both know better than anyone that Kazusa can do anything.
Setsuna, that unreasonable belief was my specialty until a month ago.
There's no way I would put the 2 of you in danger, right? Just trust me.
Toma. Despite refusing to accept all of this, I realized that it would be impossible to overturn the decision at this point. So I hesitantly get into the back seat. What? And it's even a manual. Driver's seat on the left side, manual transmission, and several million yen. Just bringing a car alone would make for a headache. But this is like a triple handicap straight out of a nightmare. Please save me, Helen Keller.
Hey, Kazusa, which one of these buttons is the stereo? I brought some CDs with me. Is it this one?
I'm supposed to be enjoying this trip, but there's a dark cloud looming over me.
The Kanto region will have very cloudy skies during the day, and snowfall is expected during the night, primarily in the mountains. Up next are the forecasts for each region in the country.
That's great! Looks like we'll have some snow!
A dark cloud. Snow on our first time driving through the northern Kanto mountain range? A quadruple handicap?
Off we go then. Make sure to fasten your seatbelts, everyone.
Toma, for starters, drive where I tell you to.
As long as you don't tell me to go home.
First, let's buy a map from a bookstore. Then, let's go to an auto parts store to buy winter emergency supplies. Chains, antifreeze, jumper cables. So, do we have any of those? In that case, it's my duty to protect the 2 in the front seats with my life. I'm amazed you knew I hadn't prepared any of those.
Haruki-kun really leaves nothing up to chance, huh?
Ugh. I don't actually feel good at all about having to put my life on the line for a mere domestic trip. Okay then, let's go. Half clutches. Kinda difficult. No, you got the handbrake on. Ah, right, that's right. Since this car has left and right flip, I keep forgetting. Sorry, change of plans. Let's go to a pharmacy first.
Haruki-kun, are you getting motion sick?
No, I need some stomach medication. And it's hurting pretty bad already.
Kazusa, are you okay?
Don't talk to me. If I lose focus for even a moment, it'll be dangerous.
Sorry.
Toma, turn left at that light.
I told you not to talk to me.
But how am I supposed to? At long last.
There's the highway toll gate.
Okay. Now, just need to switch to the left lane. No, don't enter. It's absolutely impossible for you to drive on the highway in your current condition.
Alright.
Actually, highway driving is pretty easy. It's... once you get up to speed, especially in a manual, you don't need to change gears or anything. Just cruise along. Highway driving is actually a lot easier than city driving. It's just the consequences if you screw up highway driving is a lot higher than if you screw up city driving.
But, you know, my dad told me that it's actually much easier for new drivers to drive on the highways.
Really? You're definitely incapable of merging into traffic right now. Let's just take local roads until you're a little more used to driving. Little more?
Well, taking local roads is fine for now since they run parallel to the highway. But it looks like they'll separate after the next interchange.
Here, give me the map. You're right. What now?
I'm sure it'll work out, as long as we keep driving on the outermost lane.
Fair enough. Let's call it a learning experience, Toma. Let's take the highway after all.
We just passed the entrance!
After numerous twists and turns.
I knew it! Kazusa can do anything!
It's a piece of cake once you get used to it. Cars and musical instruments are both tools in essence. Nevertheless, don't lose focus. A small lapse in focus can be enough to prove fatal. You do nothing but preach from dawn till dusk, Kirihara. You sure have a big mouth for someone who can't even drive himself. Accidents are most likely to occur when you start thinking that you've gotten used to something. You can nag all you want after you've made it to the inn and turned off the engine. Come on. I can freely change lanes and pass other cars now.
Whoa! So fast!
Hold on, you're going over 100 kilometers an hour. After numerous twists and turns. Wait, I just said that. Where are we?
Haruki-kun!
Losing your way. That's the most fatal mistake a navigator can make, Kirihara. That's why I've been apologizing for a good while now. I don't seem to remember you apologizing even once. That's because I believe the best way to apologize right now is to get back on the right path. Good to know you're still peerless when it comes to making excuses.
Hey, maybe we should have turned right at the fork in the road earlier?
The sun setting? Our journey is about to come to an end. No, we're still in the middle of our journey. There's no doubt about it. We're finally going to hit the jackpot this time.
We saw the Hakuga Hot Spring Station earlier, right? So, if we just follow the map on the pan flip from here, what a relief.
All that's left is the straight road ahead. At least, Kitahara won't be able to lead me astray at that.
Good to know you're still peerless when it comes to fault finding.
Merely adjust my response based on who I'm talking to.
Regardless of the antagonistic conversation, both Toma and I, as well as Setsuna, were finally able to relax a little. That disaster from an hour ago was pretty bad. We'd been talking less and less after that. It's a good thing that the weather didn't give us any trouble. Seems like it held out until the end.
We did buy chains and all that other stuff, so it's kind of a waste.
We even bought a flashlight at the auto parts store because the salesperson recommended it, bringing the total cost to over 3 people's worth of round-trip train tickets. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. They say some pretty cool things sometimes, huh?
Is that your own proverb? I swear, you're always so full of it.
Guys, look!
Huh?
Setsuna pointing through the windshield, and suddenly numerous large snowflakes started fluttering down outside. In no time at all, it dyed the outside world from black to white.
It's started falling.
Well, that's that. It's coming down at the end, after all.
Let's go see the snow!
Our little adventure started with that one suggestion made by Setsuna. Passing through the valleys and across the hills, we lost our way and drove back and forth over and over. We're already way past our planned arrival time, and it's completely dark outside.
So white!
Looks like it'll pile up overnight.
Yep, but it's thanks to all that time we lost trying to find our way that we're able to experience this moment.
It's beautiful!
That's why we feel grateful for the chain of coincidences we're experiencing right now. Grateful to no one in particular, yet also to everyone. What the? Uh-oh. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I've been in a car accident before. The family car was rear-ended when I was a kid. Our car was an old Buick from the 90s. The thing was built like a tank. We were hit by a Lincoln Continental, and all the Buick lost was a few inches of trunk space. No injuries except for a stiff neck or two in the family. The Lincoln had to be towed away, but our Buick just drove away. Buick was built in a time before crumple zones and all that. Modern cars are designed to sacrifice the car to prevent injury to the passengers, which is probably the better design choice.